Welcome to episode 67 of the Practice Squad, a show where we talk about football, shoot the breeze, and make even the replacement refs cringe. I'm your host and fourth string quarterback, Jeremy, joined each and every week by my co-host and backup long snapper, Joseph. How's it going, man?
It'd be a lot easier if the Dolphins just Jags, maybe the Falcons, or maybe that Raiders game a while ago, because the playoff race is madness.
The Dolphins have a long list of should-have hads. You could the bag is pretty deep for you to pick one out, but I think the worst offender was the Jags game by far. That if you could have that one back, I think we'd be having a very different discussion tonight. So we're live right here on YouTube every Tuesday we try to do it at 8:30. Tonight we're doing it at 9:15, but that's okay. That's just the way we roll now. If you like what you hear and want to support us, don't hesitate to like, share, and if you're feeling extra generous, to subscribe. But of course, you can like, share, and subscribe, even if you think you could run this show better than us. Please let us know if we're having audio problems. I did adjust the audio a little bit tonight because last week I felt like Joseph was just a tad bit too loud and I was just a tad bit too quiet, so I tried to equalize this a little bit. If it doesn't work, let us know, and I'll try to adjust it again for next show. Okay, so this week we've got our variety of different segments. We're going to do our game of the week, which is yet another overtime game. Our Who Wrecked Face this week. Darndest things. This time, not a commentator, but a player said something humorous. A special segment, a follow-up to our segment last week. Some tricky picks. And, of course, our Week 16 predictions. So, let's go ahead and dive into our first segment of the night, which is our game of the week. Chiefs at Chargers. So, there's two of these matchups a year, and the Chargers won the first one at Kansas City back when Kansas City forgot what offense was. And they had a rematch, and the Chiefs are hot, and the Chargers are... I wouldn't say they're cold, but they're definitely not hot right now. They're just sort of middle of the road. This was a 34-28 overtime victory by the Chiefs. And I got some 2019 Super Bowl vibes from this game a little bit. It hurt.
Yeah.
It did hurt a little bit. It hurt. Especially since there was some cheating at the end. But we'll talk about that later. So, first quarter, things started off looking like the Chargers might get in control this one. Andre Roberts opens up the game with a 75-yard kickoff return.
He could have had a touchdown. He could have had it.
And the only reason he didn't have a touchdown was because he stumbled. He tripped on himself and fell down. And so then the Chargers got really close. They got inside the red zone, and on third and fourth down, Herbert attempted a couple of passes that I think the receiver got injured on both plays. I think Mike Williams was one of them. He came back later. There was a second guy that fell down awkwardly. I don't know what his injury was. He actually had to get taken to the hospital.
Concussion.
Did it turn out to just be a concussion? I don't want to say just, but...
I don't know. There's always, but, dude, I watched the replay. He hits his head hard, and his arms, he did the concussion, where your arms fall out, like he hits his head, and then his arms lift up like rigor mortis.
Yeah.
They're just floating. It was scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that, and I was wondering, like, what is that? And then they said that he was, in the game, they said he was taken to the hospital. I actually saw that part live on Thursday, and they said he got taken to the hospital because the blue tent was not enough. But then they never update. They didn't update till way later after I had stopped watching, so I didn't really know what was going on with him. It did look scary. If it is just a concussion, that's great. When I say just, I mean that there could be a whole lot of other things wrong that are much worse than a concussion. So I'm glad if it's just that it is just that. But there were two players that got back-to-back pass plays, incompletions. Players got hurt. And they on that fourth down, Mike Williams or no, it wasn't Mike Williams. It was the other guy. I think was the fourth down pass. He
Yeah,
dropped.
tight end.
He didn't catch it. So turnover on downs. And so the Chiefs kind of steal back the momentum. And man, on that first Chiefs drive, it really looked like they kind of bust out the whole playbook. They drive down the field. And Michael Burton had a couple of really nice runs on that drive, and he just muscled his way into the end zone. And the Chiefs go up 7-0. And then on the Chargers' next drive, there was their drive was looking okay, and then there was a ball batted and picked off at the Chiefs 42 by Anthony Hitchens. So Chiefs get the ball back, and let's see. Oh yeah, on this drive. Oh yeah, so it was the end of the first quarter. Man, Kelsey they could not bring him down in this game.
Oh, he was a beast.
Yeah, he was. He looked a lot like Greg Kittle in this game. It was amazing. Yeah, there was a couple of plays where Mahomes just did a really wonderful job escaping pressure in the pocket. There was one play like that at the end of the first quarter. He escapes a sack, completes a pass to Kelsey, who just the only way they brought him down was by pushing him into the sideline. He didn't even get tackled. He just got pushed out of bounds. And then the Chiefs do get down in the red zone, but Mahomes throws a kind of a weird corner of the end zone pass. It actually was almost caught in bounds. It was kind of crazy. It was like there were two defenders there. There was a receiver in the corner behind them. He jumps up. He does catch it, but then it comes down. He doesn't have both feet in bounds. So it's an incompletion, and the Chiefs, not the Chicks, the Chiefs end up kicking, and I don't know why I said Chicks. The Chiefs,
Kansas City Chicks.
yeah, the Kansas City Chicks, exactly. The Kansas City Chicks kick a field goal, so they go up 10-0. Now it's the Chargers' turn. So Herbert had a great elusive drive, escaped multiple sacks in the pocket, and then he ended up scoring a rushing touchdown there to move the score to 10-7 Chiefs. And then Mahomes did have a handful of kind of really bad throws in this game, and luckily there weren't defenders in the area to do anything about it, but there was an overthrow to Hardman that caused a punt, and then the Chargers, man, they shredded the Chiefs with their run game on this drive. The Chiefs' run defense looked terrible in this game for the most part. And they get down to the end of the field, and I noticed on their touchdown pass to Jalen Guyton, who I'd never heard of before this game, there was a defensive lineman that got in Herbert's face, but instead of stepping towards him or stepping into him, he waved his arm to try to bat the pass down, but didn't get it. And then that gave Herbert just enough time to complete his throwing motion and get the touchdown pass. So I thought if the defensive end, or I don't know if he was an end, but the defensive lineman had moved a step towards Herbert, I don't think he would have completed that pass. So it seemed like a miss move, if you will, on the part of the Chiefs defender. I don't remember his name. So Herbert completes the pass, and it's now 14-10 Chargers. Do you remember the play that I'm talking about, the touchdown pass?
I don't have it on here. I don't.
If you're just looking at the end zone to see the catch, you won't notice it. But if you're paying attention to the pocket when he throws, you'll notice that the defender made a mismove, and it allowed Herbert to complete the pass. It gave him just enough time. So it's now 14-10 Chargers, and the Chargers have kind of made up for some of their lost time at the beginning of the game. And then the next play was that interesting play where Mahomes fumbled.
I forgot, but hold on. You missed the play from earlier. The play where they cheated. There was a cheat.
Oh, the Chiefs cheated again?
Yeah, I have it in my notes here.
Oh,
It's
I want to hear about this.
the end of the first quarter when the Chiefs are scoring, I think, their second touchdown. Um,
Well, they've only
there-
scored one. They only scored one touchdown in the half.
okay, then it was the first touchdown.
Okay.
Unless it was a field goal, I'm not sure, but they were down in the red zone. And yeah, whether it was a touchdown or not, they still scored. I remember that. It was a bad missed false start. I mean, like
Oh,
I was
really?
watching, I was watching the game, and I don't even think I was fully paying attention. Like I was just like kind of watching the game, and I saw it. I was like, oh, false start, and they never called the penalty. I was like, what? And then I went back and replayed it, and I was like, oh my goodness, like it was so obvious of a false start on the left tackle, and it was towards the end of the first quarter. And it was so bad I put it in my notes and thought you were gonna bring it up, or I think you were talking about it. So
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't see that. I probably just blew past the play watching the highlight and didn't notice.
but yeah, it was a bad. So
Okay, well, there's another cheat later that we're gonna talk about too. But okay, so right, so this is the Mahomes fumble play. That's where we're at right now. So they called it a fumble on the field, and to me it was really close. And in the slow-mo replay, it was one of those plays where the quarterback has the ball in his hand. He's has that 90-degree, throwing motion, but the ball it was just like a millisecond before he started going forward. So Joey Bosa gets his hand onto Mahomes' arm and just knocks the ball out. It just jolts the ball out, and the Chargers recover it, and they called it a fumble on the field, and they confirmed the call afterwards. Did you agree with that call?
I don't remember that. I don't know why. I don't remember.
Okay. I think it was the right call, and I'm not saying that just because I want some, vengeance on the Chiefs for cheating. It's that was the right call. Although the Chiefs could get called for a holding penalty for every snap for the next 3 games, and that probably still wouldn't make up for the number of times that they held Nick Bosa in the Super Bowl, but that's a separate issue entirely. So maybe we should cover Chiefs games, man. There's a bitterness that comes out. It's almost like Seattle and then the Chiefs is the next one.
Dude, let's just hope that my prediction for the season is not true. Remember my prediction?
Oh, about the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl
against the Niners.
That
was.
Nah, let's live in a parallel universe if that's true. So, so yeah, the Chargers recover. They end up driving down. They get to the 1, and 4th and goal at the 1. The pass is batted down, and the half ends. I went back and forth about whether I agreed with them trying to score a touchdown there. I get they're playing an offense like the Chiefs, and you want to keep scoring, but I thought that given that they were only up 14-10, I thought, well, if you kick a field goal, you're up by a touchdown now, right? So, also on top of that, that the Chiefs are going to get the ball to start the second half. So I thought, well, if they drive down and score a touchdown, now it'll just be a tie. So I disagreed with the call, but they tried to go for the touchdown, they didn't make it, so it's 14-10 at half. 14-10 Chargers.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I questioned. I had it in my notes. I questioned kind of the first one. It's like, you have that great play. I get it, but just get the points. And like it was, they weren't getting killed. Like they were both teams were trading off pretty well. I mean, it's a good game, close game. Just get the field goal. I didn't understand, especially after they missed it on the first 4th down. Why go for it again in the first half? That didn't make sense.
Yeah, I think the Chargers left
That's 6 points.
At least 6 points on the board in this game. Maybe 9 by not kicking.
Yeah.
Okay, so second half starts. Chiefs have the ball to open the second half. Um, and this is when I thought Tyreek Hill really started to break out. He was left wide open several times. On a 3rd and 4, he converts all the way down to the Chargers 15. And then the drive stalls after Mahomes throws a kind of an inaccurate pass to Byron Pringle. And they kick. So it's now 14-13 Chargers. And then here we go again. Chargers are at the Chiefs 22. They go for it on 4th and 2, but the pass is batted down and the Chiefs get the turnover on down. So that could have been a field goal. So that's 6 points so far that they left on. Well, no, 9 points because there were three fourth down plays that were in field goal range that they chose to try to convert and failed. So then this is the best catch of the game was on the next drive when Tyreek Hill with a defender that was actually like grabbing his arms. Mahomes just sticks the ball right in the right spot. Hill grabs it despite the interference on a 40-yard pass, comes down with the ball. He still draws the PI, but doesn't matter because he caught it anyway. That was my favorite catch of the game. I don't think there was another one that was quite that good. It was like a perfect throw, and it was a catch in traffic that was impressive. So then despite that though, they squander that. The Chiefs decide to go for it on 4th and goal at the 1, and Mahomes throws it into the ground.
Yeah, that was. Did the ball slip? That was
if it didn't, that was easily his worst. I mean, regardless, that was his worst throw of the game, because he missed a touchdown. So another turnover on downs. There were. Let me actually pull this up. The Chargers were 2 for 5 on 4th downs. That's a lot. Going for it 5 times on 4th down is a lot of times. 4th down efficiency, Chiefs were 0 for 1 and Chargers were 2 for 5. So there were 6 4th down attempts and only 2 that were successful in this game. Okay, so then we're starting the 4th quarter. Finally, the Chargers convert a 4th down on a 4th and 1. And then this was just the worst. This is one of those ones where this guy is going to watch the tape and say, I need glasses. Because on a 3rd and goal, Josh Kelly for the Chargers tries to leap into the end zone and the ball comes out. And if you watch the sideline replay of this, he's like 2 yards short. He's not close. It wasn't close enough. Not 2 yards, but like a full yard. He didn't make any ground. It wasn't like he dove and was an inch away. He was a full yard away, if not more, after the dive. And then the ball comes out and the Chiefs recover. So another probably touchdown, honestly, because it was 3rd and goal at the 1 that the Chargers left on the board. We're now saying the Chargers left 15 points on the board in this game. Do you know the play I'm talking about, Joseph?
Yeah, I felt like that was a longer distance dive for that. Sticking the ball out there like that, defenders, be able to go for it to knock it out. And example, yeah, I don't know if he had the wrong footing and he took like one step too early to jump, but it just looked awkward on the replay. And yeah, oh man.
Yeah, so it didn't work out. The pile was too big. The guy's not that big. He was too far away. That was not a good call on his part. And then, so this is where it gets crazy. So the Chargers, the Chiefs force a turnover here. And then the Chargers answer right back when, with one of the most interesting interceptions I've seen all year, Mahomes throws a pass that's just a little bit too low, which means that the defender was able to tip it. And then the same defender that tipped it also caught it. And it was at the Chiefs too. So basically the ball didn't move after 2 turnovers, and it sets up the Chargers right where they left off, just about. And then on 1st and goal, right after the turnover, Austin Eckler runs it in for a touchdown. So it's now 21-13 Chargers. What a play. I don't think I've seen more than maybe 1 or 2 other times ever the same defender that tips a pass also come down with it. Because normally when a pass is tipped, it still has forward momentum, so it'll just go to another defender if it gets picked or completed. But this time he tipped it, but then it just went straight up, and it was able to come down, and he caught it. And luckily there was a Chiefs player close by to, touch him when he was down. But that's not a common kind of interception to see. How many of you have you seen, Joseph, before? It can't have been many.
Tip to catch a few, or the ones where yeah, I'd say a few.
So
I'd be surprised if I've only seen one. Surprised if I've seen more than 5.
Okay. Yeah, but that's pretty rare. I mean, you and I have watched a lot of football. It's a rare kind of play. So
really quick.
Yeah.
Not as rare and crazy as that insane email you sent me of that tweet.
Oh, yeah. So that was totally unrelated. If any of you were watching the Washington play the Eagles tonight, there was an absurd interception that happened. I'm just gonna, instead of trying to describe it, because I won't do it justice, I'm gonna leave the link that I sent Joseph. I'm gonna leave the link in the YouTube comments, and just allow you guys to watch it for yourselves, because this was just amazing.
Watched it at home, and I was like, I had to watch it again. I was like, what? And it was, yeah.
Oh, there's too many characters for me to leave. I'll try to remember to leave it in the comments after the video's over. But yeah, just insane interception. Okay, so now the Chargers are up 21-13. And then the Chiefs strike back right away. Mahomes throws a 69-yard catch and run to Kelsey, who's tackled at the 1. Again, he just doesn't want to come down. And then on 2nd and goal, Mahomes completes a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. And of course, the Chiefs do what they always do, which was get points when they need them. And they get the 2-point conversion. Mahomes had all day on this 2-point. I don't know what they were doing. I think they rushed 3, but then they still didn't have enough defenders to defend. He had at least 5 seconds to throw. And they get the 2 points. So it's now tied at 21. And then the Chargers also strike back again pretty quickly. They drive down the field with 2:19 left in the 4th quarter. Herbert throws a touchdown pass to Allen in traffic. Just a bullet perfect pass. Beautiful touchdown pass between defenders. And they take a one touchdown lead, 28-21. And then at this point, it's just back and forth. So Mahomes rips off a 32-yard run to get inside the Chargers' 10 with 1:22 left. And then he throws a low pass, but who's there to catch it? None other than your 191-yard Travis Kelce. for a touchdown. So it's now tied 28-28. And here we go. So on 3rd and 15, Herbert throws a pass to Keenan Allen. And it was an overthrow. But there was a defender that was pulling and tugging on Allen. So he lost velocity. And guess what? There was no flag. So that forces a punt. And the Chiefs get the ball back with 17 seconds left at their own 28. And that just wasn't enough time for them to do anything. So I think they ran one play and then they kneeled and went to overtime. So there was at least 2 incidents of cheating on the side of the Chiefs that I caught. Or, well, Joseph caught one, I caught one. I'm kind of surprised I didn't see the one Joseph was talking about. But that's how regulation ended. And I kind of got the feeling, I was like, I already know the outcome of this game, but I think in terms of the final score, but I thought, what I bet happens is the Chiefs get the ball first and they just don't get stopped. And that's exactly what happens because their offense was unstoppable pretty much from halfway through the third quarter on. So the Chiefs start with the ball. They win the coin toss. There's a huge pass to Kelce, then a huge pass to Hill, then another huge pass to Kelce, who just eludes. It was like receiver beast mode almost. He just eludes tackling, and scores a touchdown. Right? He just walks in the end zone, and the Chiefs win 34-28 in overtime. It took 1 minute and 15 seconds. 1 minute and 15 seconds, and they win on a touchdown in overtime. So that's the scary Chiefs that we knew in 2019, that we knew last year. Obviously, that didn't show up in the Super Bowl, but that's the Chiefs that everybody has come to expect. And there aren't a whole lot of teams that can keep up with that. I think that the Chargers, people might disagree with this, but I actually think the Chargers were the better team in this game. But they left way too many points on the board. And they gave Kansas City too many chances. And Kansas City pulled out a really, really big win that was devastating for several teams involved, including the Chargers and several other AFC teams. So let's that's pretty much it on my thoughts for the game. Joseph, were there any other plays or general thoughts that you had on this one?
I think you cut everything. I have the refs play. I have going on 4th down. What I call here a disgusting catch by Hill in the 3rd. Mahomes funny pass. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so unsurprisingly, there are going to be a handful of Chiefs in this next segment. So, who wrecked face this week? I'm going to let Joseph start with his picks, and then I'll do mine.
Okay, so we have Patrick Mahomes, obviously, 31 of 47 for 410 yards. Also want to tack on 32 more rushing yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. And then this is just incredible. Have we ever had 2 receivers from the same team, both on rec face?
I don't think so.
You know what?
Definitely not this year.
Yeah, and if it did happen, it might have been this same duo. Tyreek Hill, 12 receptions, 148 yards, a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 10 receptions, 191 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Jonathan Taylor, he's having a Derrick Henry-like season. It's ridiculous. So we're going to end up with like 1,700, 1,800 rushing yards, 100 more receiving yards, probably around 20 total touchdowns. Hit 170 rushing yards on a 5.9 average and a touchdown. And then our beloved got wrecked. Giants passing. Now, because Daniel Jones is injured, and they're sitting him for the season. Giants passing, combined 19 of 36, 178 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 picks. Mike Glennon was the worst at that. Mike Glennon was 13 of 24 for 99 yards. That's only a 4.1 average per attempt. Yeah. And he had 0 touchdowns and 3. So yeah, Giants passing was.
Okay, so I've got one more running back. A couple of new additions from the games today, actually. So Miles Sanders for the Eagles had 18 carries for 131 yards, which is a 7.3 average just today. And then Cooper Kupp in the Rams win over the Seahawks today had 9 receptions for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Mark Andrews for the Ravens, who lost by 1 point to the Packers on Sunday, had 10 receptions for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then I got 3 defensive players who I actually forgot to write down the team this guy's from. Let me pull this up real quick. I do want to note that. Yes. Okay, so Jermaine Pratt, linebacker for the Bengals, had 15 tackles and half of a sack. DJ Wonnum, defensive end for Minnesota, had 8 tackles, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. And then lastly, just tonight, Carlos Dunlap for the Seahawks had 4 tackles and 3 sacks. Okay, so moving on to our third segment of the night. Quick segment. Commentators say the darndest things. As I said at the beginning of the show, for those of you that are just potentially joining us now, I don't have a commentator saying something dumb this week. I didn't actually watch a whole lot live other than the Niners, and I actually had to have the audio off for a bunch of it, so didn't have enough critical mass to get a quote this week. But there was a funny quote from one of the 49ers players in a press conference this week. Trent Williams, the 49ers left tackle, said, he said, in reference, they were talking about somehow Nick Bosa came up, and I think it may have had something to do with like them practicing together and making each other better or something like that. He said, "I feel sorry for the offensive tackles. I really do. If you were to go into a lab and create a pass rusher, Nick Bosa would walk out."
That's fine and dandy, like, past year or two, but I feel like J.J. Watt isn't far away from where his prime was, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that maybe we want to tone it down a bit. Not J.J. Watt.
You mean just from the most dominant defensive end that we've seen in recent years?
Yeah, I get like it's one thing to not include Reggie White. Reggie White probably one of the greatest of all time. But that was a couple decades ago. But like J.J. Watt, like his prime was like 2012 to 2016. So it's still, I think, a decent 2017 years. I think we're close enough to Watt that it's like it's a fair comment. It's hilarious. It's good, but let's tone down maybe some of the Bosa hype. And plus, his brother's pretty good too, Joey. But yeah, let's. So
yeah, I think so. Let me put my 2 cents out there, which is I'm not. This isn't a. There's obviously like the team bias, right, in a comment like that, and for me, it's more he's just having a crazy dominant season this year, and what's really impressive is that he's coming off of an ACL, right,
Yeah,
in
no,
doing
that's
this.
true. That is so true.
So I think even if he doesn't win DPOY, he's definitely in the running, I think, for comeback player of the year for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna hope that TJ Watt wins it because he's been robbed. He was seriously robbed last year, and then was debatably robbed a year or two ago.
was he robbed by Derek Jeter?
No, he was robbed by Aaron Donald.
Joseph and I have an inside joke
Yeah.
about Derek Jeter getting undeserved awards, undeserved accolades in the MLB. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind seeing TJ Watt. Honestly, I need to redo my research a little bit more. I think TJ Watt's definitely uh, in the top couple in that discussion. So, but regardless, that I agree with what you're saying about JJ Watt. I think uh, maybe if there was a lab, an unbiased lab, that someone a little bit more like JJ Watt would walk out. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. So Nick Bosa has 15 sacks on the season. The leader is TJ Watt with 17 and a half right now. Okay, so tricky picks, segment 4. We didn't do tricky picks last week, so nothing to update as far as record wise. I'm still 24 and 27, and Joseph is 22 and 29. So do we want to do? I'm assuming, should we do tricky picks before the
Yeah.
the special segment?
And then before that, Nick Bosa's picture on ESPN, he looks a little bit like one of the pastors at my church.
That's, I don't know what to do with that. That's just, but we'll just let that hang out there.
All right, so tricky picks. Will the Niners have at least 3 rushing touchdowns?
No.
All right. Will the Dolphins win by at least 10?
No.
All right, same. All of those. All right, here's where it gets fun. Microsoft. Whoa, it wants me to, hold on, I gotta sign in. They have to talk to fill in the time.
If you need to, well, just tell us your password on air so we can help you log in.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to talk a little bit.
Okay, so I don't know why you think the Dolphins are going to beat the Saints after the Saints just shut out the Bucks. You think the Dolphins are better than the Bucks? Come
How it
on.
works. That's not how it works, and you know it. But yes, I think we can beat them. I think we can.
Division game, schmision game. Come on.
I mean, the Bucks getting shut out. Like, plus, has Brady ever been shut out before? I saw something on ESPN, like some kind of record or something. I don't know what it was referring to, but it could have been referring to him being shut out or shut out.
Probably by the Jets once, right?
No,
I don't know. Maybe he never was. I mean, that would be, just given how long his career is, I'd be pretty surprised if he hadn't been shut out at least once.
So this week is insane for playoff implication games. But I decided to pick. There's five games that are complete division games, and each one has playoff implications, and some of them for both. And so I'll list those games, and then I'll give a list of tricky picks for considering all the games. Okay. First one is Baltimore at Cincinnati. Second one is Buffalo at New England. Third is Giants at Eagles. Fourth is Broncos at Raiders. And lastly, we have Washington at Dallas. Okay? So, of those games, how many of those games will have the following? All right, first, 4 or more turnovers.
So you're asking me to say which games specifically, or how many?
Just the number. How many of those games?
And there were 5 games, right?
Yeah.
I'll say 2.
Oh, I said the same. How many will have 6 or more passing touchdowns?
I'll say 2 on that also.
Okay. Sure. How many will have 275 or more rushing yards?
Just tell me what your picks are, and then I'll copy them. 200. So total 200 or more
Between
rushing
both-
yards
Between both teams combined.
between both teams combined. 275, not 200.
Yeah, 275. 50 and 25, the example.
I'm gonna say 1.
Hey man, I did not tell you my password. Did you copy? Did you? Because what's going on here?
One of the viewers in the live chat said what your password was, so I logged in and.
Yeah, so I said 1 as well. All right. How many will have 50 or more points combined?
Three.
I said the same answer.
Okay, well.
All right. Maybe this will be a nullified tricky picks. All right, last one. This is it. How many will have 6 or more sacks?
So Dallas football team, Eagles, Giants, Ravens, Bengals, Bills, Patriots, and
Broncos, Raiders.
Broncos, Raiders. 6 or more sacks. 2.
All right, I said 1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I had
1.
to change 1 just to make you think I wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say 2.
All right. That's it.
All right, so that's what, 8? Is it 7 picks or 8 picks?
7.
7. Okay, and then we were the same on 6 of them.
Yep.
All right. Well, that means you officially can't catch up to me this week because you're down by 2.
Ooh.
So. All right. So our next segment is our special segment, and last week we talked about the NFC playoff standings, which I would say, just as a quick aside before we jump into this segment, that this segment is the AFC playoff standings, if you haven't figured it out already. The 49ers, in my opinion, they effectively locked their playoff spot by beating the Falcons. They didn't mathematically lock it, but looking at the rest of the schedule and the teams that are behind them, there's a very, very small chance that they wouldn't make it at this point. So it's really a battle for that 7th spot, and there's still a handful of teams that are in contention for that. So now we'll take a look at the much muddier AFC playoff standings. So let me just go over what the current standings are right now, and then I'll let Joseph do the talking mainly on this one because you have some scenarios with the Dolphins you want to talk about as well as some other things. So I'll let you do that. So current standings are Chiefs are number 1 at 10-4. The Patriots are number 2 at 9-5. The Titans are 3 at 9-5. The Bengals are 4 at 8-6. The Colts are 5 at 8-6. The Chargers are 6 at 8-6. And the Bills are 7th at 8-6. There is one more 8-6 team and 5 more 7-win teams. So
yeah,
I noticed just today, before you begin your monologue, Joseph, the Broncos are 7-7. The next team, the 14th seed, is the Jets at 3-11. So there's a 4-win gap between the team with 7 wins and the team with the next most amount of wins.
Yeah, and these teams aren't eliminated. Broncos are not eliminated.
No, not yet. They're not.
Yeah, and while there are obviously some plausible scenarios, which they will be, it's crazy. This is insane. I was talking to Jeremy earlier, and there's just so many scenarios where like the Dolphins can make it or not make it, help, and the tie breaks. It's crazy. Yeah. So beating if we had the Raiders win, that'd probably be the best because that'd be the tie break and one more. So if we had the Raiders win, we would be probably a playoff team right now or close to it. So yeah. Last week when I talked about the 1 seed and the 6 seed, really, but for the AFC, since it's so crazy, I mean, right now, I'm not kidding when I say this, guys. The Patriots can miss the playoffs. That's a possibility. Patriots can miss the playoffs. It's not super likely because they have the conference. They've won a lot of conference games, so I think they'd have to lose out to miss, which isn't likely, but it's still possible. But they can certainly lose the division, or they can get knocked. So there's craziness going on. So let's go ahead and look at some of the schedules. I just want to list out team schedules just to give you a feel for how many critical games are left. Remember, 13 teams are in the playoff race. No one has clinched a playoff spot yet. No one's clinched a division. No one's clinched a playoff spot. Wait, that's actually pretty crazy. The Chiefs haven't clinched a playoff spot yet?
Yeah, I guess there's a crazy scenario where if they lose out, there's enough teams that have a tiebreak at 10 wins.
Okay, that can't be right because they look at the NFC. Well, it says they clinched the division, so that's implied. So yeah, but wait, that means the Cowboys haven't clinched a playoff spot?
Wait, where does it say that they clinched the division?
The NFC? The little Z marker there on ESPN?
I'm looking on ESPN. I don't see a Z marker next to the Chiefs.
No, Packers.
Oh, against the Packers, yeah.
So, but wait, does that mean? Okay, something's not right here. There's no way that between the Cowboys, Bucks, Cardinals, and Rams that none of them have clinched a playoff spot.
It's because, well, I can go into that, but because there's still division opponents in all of those games that could overtake them. If they were to lose out, if they lost out, like I think the Eagles, I think it's the Eagles. If they win out and the Cowboys lose out, let's see. Looking at Cowboys, right? Because then they would have some weird tiebreak because they would be 1-1 against each other, and then the Bucks are like if the Saints won out and the Bucks lost out, the Saints would have the head-to-head tiebreak, and then the Cardinals.
But it's not possible that everyone loses out because they play each other. So like there's teams that play each other, right? The Cardinals and the Rams play each other, don't they?
No, they're done.
Okay, never mind. I think you're right. Okay, never mind. Okay, the NFC. The reason why I said that is because I wanted to make sure I claimed that the Patriots was possible. But you're right. There's no other.
There's only one team in all of football that's clinched a playoff spot.
That's insane. It is
insane. And we're in week 15. We just finished week 15.
Okay, wow. Okay, back to the AFC. So yeah, I guess the Patriots can miss. So I just want to go through just quickly these team schedules. I'm just gonna list out the game just to give you a feel for how many critical games are left. Okay. And I'm just gonna list out. So I'll say Patriots and the opponent. So Patriots, they have Bills and Dolphins. Titans have Dolphins left. Bengals have the Ravens, Chiefs, and Browns. My goodness. The Colts have the Raiders. The Chargers have the Broncos and the Raiders. The Bills have the Patriots. The Ravens have the Bengals and the Steelers. Steelers have Chiefs, Browns, Ravens. That's insane. Raiders have Broncos, Colts, Chargers. Dolphins have the Titans and the Patriots. Or here. Broncos have Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs, and Browns have Steelers, Bengals. So they're all playing each other. There's not just division games going on there, which is already insane. They're mixed around. They're playing each other. So I'm gonna go with what I feel like is my prediction, and then I'm gonna go with some. And Jeremy, I'd like your general feel for what your general prediction is, and then I'll get into the crazy Dolphin scenarios. Okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. So I do think the Chiefs will get the 1 seed. While I'm hoping the Dolphins can do it, I don't think they will. I think the Patriots will get the 2 seed. I think it'll work out between them and the Bills. That they'll have the tiebreak over the Bills somehow. So they'll get the 2 seed. And then the Titans, they have it a little bit easier than their teams. Yeah, they have it easier than the Bengals and so forth. So the Titans will get the 3 seed. So the first 3 seeds are the same. And this is where it gets crazy. So I think the Bengals will win the division. They play the Ravens still. Because right now they have the tiebreak on the Ravens based on head-to-head. So if they lose, then they'll still probably beat the Ravens because of the division record. So as long as it doesn't really matter if the Bengals beat the Ravens or not. What matters is their final record. So if they're tied, then they're ahead. And they both have tough games, right? So I can see the Bengals only winning 1, possibly 2.
Real quick clarification: if it's a division winner tiebreak, you go to division games before common games, and if it's a wild card tiebreak, then you go to common games before conference games, right?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a switch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that conference goes first when it's division, and when it's wild card, it's common. I'm pretty confident on that, but not exactly sure. But I definitely know that common and conference are, flip flop. One's first and they're there. So, because yeah, looking at the standings right now, conference games shows up quite a bit. Common games only shows up between Baltimore and Bills, whereas conference games shows up. Oh, you know what? I don't know, but those are the 2 that are next after division and head up. So if Baltimore loses both of its games at the end, but beats the Bengals, and the Bengals still get 1 win, it doesn't matter. The Bengals will get it. So I think the Bengals just have an edge. The Ravens are beat up to get it. So the Bengals will win the division. Those are locked. And then wild card madness. So the Colts will get a spot. Their win against the Patriots last week was huge. That really, really hurt the Dolphins. That might be one of the most critical wins to hurt the Dolphins in the last few weeks and moving forward. And they still have Raiders and Jags left. I see them getting 10 wins. They'll lose against the Cardinals, I think. So the Colts will get 10 wins. And since they already have tie breaks against most teams, actually against every team, then they're going to get a spot. So the Colts will get a spot, probably the 5 or 6 seed. The Chargers have a lot of tie breaks against teams. I think they'll get in as well. The Chargers, I don't know where they'll end up, but the Chargers have Texans, Broncos, Raiders left. I think they'll get at least 2 of those, right? And then between Bills, Ravens, Steelers, all these other teams, they beat up on each other, but the Bills went out. Bills will lose against the Patriots, I think, but then they have the Falcons and the Jets at home. I mean, come on. So that's 10 wins, and 10 wins will get them in, and they have the tiebreak against the Ravens. So, and the Steelers are not going to win out, right? The Steelers are not going to win out. They have at Chiefs, Browns, at Ravens. They have that weird tie thing going on. So, crazy enough, I actually think the current standings right now will be how they are and exactly how they are.
Interesting. Okay. So you think the Ravens are going to miss this year?
Yeah. So because if they get 10 wins, which think about it, they have at Bengals, Rams, Steelers. That's not easy, and their team is beat up. They've lost 3 in a row. they were not only AFC contenders but Super Bowl contenders, but they've been slumping and they have injuries, got a tough schedule, and they're low on the totem pole of tie breaks. They're below basically everyone on the tie breaks. So I don't see how they can. And I think Colts and Chargers and Bills are a lock, 10 wins. But their only hope is to beat out the Bengals. Bengals have the slight edge. So yeah, Ravens are out.
Okay, and I think generally I agree with that analysis. One thing that I'm starting to look at, just because they're really hot right now, is a scenario where the Colts win the division, because the
Ooh.
Cardinals are middling right now. They're struggling right now, and the Colts are hot. If they go in and beat Arizona, then they have versus Raiders and at Jaguars left, and you got to think they can win at least one of those. That would be 10 wins. And if the Niners can beat the Titans this week, which is realistic, then the Titans would only have 2 more games left to win. They've got Dolphins and at Texans. Now, presumably they'd win at Texans, and if that happened, and they were both 10-6, obviously the Titans win because they won both of their head-to-heads against the Colts. So that's what really kills the Colts. The Colts would have to win out, and the Titans would have to
lose a game.
Which
2 games.
2 games, which is not super likely.
Yeah, I think Titans will get.
And then I think that honestly, the Bengals. Who do they play this week? They play
Ravens at home.
The Ravens. So if they lose to the Ravens,
they have Chiefs and at Browns.
Yeah, that sounds like a 9-8 then. If they lose to the Ravens, then I mean, do you think they'd still win the division at 9-8?
So it's still possible, but obviously their chances go down. But the Ravens still have Rams and Steelers. Yes, it's at home, but the Ravens are on a downward slope. They're injured, and the Steelers Ravens. Come on, you guys think that's going to be a crazy game? And the Rams are better. So it's if the Bengals win next week, their chance of winning the division, I think, goes above like 80%. Got it. If they lose, it's probably 30%.
Okay, I think that's fair. And then you feel pretty confident about the Chargers, given that they have a Texans and then 2 winnable division games.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to get at least 2 wins. I think 10's the magic number, and they have the tiebreak on the Bills based on common games. And the Bills, they're not going to have any more. See your Falcons, Jets, Patriots. They're not going to have any more common games left to play next 3 games. So they're going to maintain that tiebreak. So unless the Bills win out, the Bills win in New England, that'll change it up, but I doubt that. So the Chargers will that tiebreak.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's starting to come into picture a little bit better. I think I see where you're coming from. Wow. Yeah, this is a. So that means, just to kind of pluck the low hanging fruit, if the Steelers, as soon as they lose a game, they're done.
Yes.
Right. They have to win out if they want a chance.
I think all those teams, because again, mathematically, that's why they're not eliminated. But it's implausible that the teams we just listed, Bengals, Colts, Titans, Chargers, that they're going to just lose out and do all that. So plausibly, the only way that Steelers, Raiders, Dolphins, Browns, Broncos have a chance is if they win out. Now, they can't all win out because they play each other. But if any of those teams have a chance, they have to win out.
Right. I see what you're saying.
And they still need help. Now I get to my Dolphins.
All right, here we
The
go.
Dolphins have the tiebreak on Browns and Broncos. And that's going to probably maintain conference games. So, yeah, what I'm about to say for the Dolphins could apply actually to the Broncos as well with their own games, but I'm not going to care about them. Go with that. So, Dolphins. Okay, first step here. Start with preliminary things. First thing first, Dolphins have to win out. Okay. If they win out, though, they're not guaranteed a spot. Because the Colts have the tiebreak on them, and the Bills have the tiebreak on them, and I don't know about the Chargers. I don't want to find out. Raiders have the tiebreak. Steelers have that weird tie thing. So the Patriots. Now, if the Patriots lose against the Bills, here's what gets crazy. If the Patriots lose against the Bills, the Dolphins win out. Dolphins have the tiebreak on, and the Dolphins won't win the division because of the Bills, but they'll have the tiebreak over the Patriots for the playoffs. So if those other teams have the tiebreak against, they'll knock them out, or will get shifted down. Chargers, I don't know, or the Colts. So it gets wild. So what first preliminary thing? Dolphins have to win out. Okay. Number two, we still need help, and some of the simplest low-hanging fruit for us to help out is the Chiefs and the Chargers win out. Right, Chiefs and Chargers. So the Chiefs have for some. Yeah, the Chiefs have Steelers at Bengals at Broncos. I mean, so if they win out, boom, knocks out the Steelers. That really helps us. Well, the Bengals are fighting the Ravens, so not really. And the Broncos. So they're done. So if the Chiefs win out, great. If the Chargers win out, they play the Broncos and the Raiders. So if those two teams win out, that settles it for a team below us and a team above us, the Raiders. All right, so that puts us in the 10 spots. Sorry, the 9 spots compared to the Steelers. Okay, we have the tiebreak on the Ravens. We beat them. Can't believe we beat them, but we beat them. We beat the Ravens 22-10. So we have the tiebreak on them if we end up with 10 wins. There's a possibility the Ravens only have 9 wins. So now we're in the 8 spot where we need help. Colts, Bills, all that stuff. So we would need so a couple options here. One option, the Bills beat the Patriots and we overtake the Patriots. And then it comes down to, do the Patriots kick out someone else, like the Colts or the Chargers, or do the Patriots go 10-7 and miss the playoffs? We know they were going to win the division, possibly get a 1 seed. That's one option. If the Patriots beat the Bills, we need the Bills to have 9 wins only. And I don't think that's going to happen because the Bills have Falcons and Jets at home after the Patriots. So that's why they're sitting pretty. And the Colts are only allowed to win 1 game. And the Colts have at Cardinals, Raiders, at Jags. So that's not looking like it either. So we need some serious help. I don't know. Maybe right? Maybe the Ravens win it. Maybe maybe it is. Maybe the Ravens win the division, and the Bengals only win 1 game left. That'll do it. That actually might be the easiest route, to be honest. They have a tough schedule, so that might be it. But we need help. We need some help, but we can still make it. But the second we lose a game, it's over. We have it kind of tough. We have at Saints. We have at Titans. I was telling Jeremy of a nightmare scenario earlier. I don't think it's possible because the Titans won both games. But there was a nightmare scenario where we beat the Titans, right? And Titans tie with the Colts for the division, right? And they have to go through the tie break to eliminate one of those teams, and we would miss the playoffs. If the Titans, Colts, and Dolphins all end up tied, the Dolphins get hurt. We get lose because the first tie break will be between the Colts and the Titans, right? The Colts will be eliminated. Therefore, the Titans win the division, even though we beat them. Well, we beat them during the division. Then the Colts get compared to us, and the Colts beat us. So yeah, that was a nightmare scenario. Probably won't be able to happen. So it's crazy, man. It's possible. I would say right now we're effectively the 8 or 9 seed, given those things I just said. But, we need some that implies we're going to win out. So I would say the Dolphins have somewhere between a 5 and 15% playoffs.
Okay. So question to end this segment and to streamline it, because we will be taking a look at this each week as we progress, because obviously major things can happen now that we're so close and we only have 3 games left. But question for you, is there any scenario under which even if the Dolphins win, that the Dolphins are mathematically eliminated this week?
Ooh, I don't think so. I'm just from that. That's from looking at all the games and thinking about it. I think I am at least 95% certain that no.
Okay, so if you win, then you stave off elimination guaranteed for at least one more week.
Yeah, and here's the reason why. Because the Browns win, we're ahead of them. Titans win, they're already ahead of us. Colts win, they're already ahead of us. Baltimore, Cincinnati, they beat each other up. Buffalo, Patriots, they beat each other up. If Pittsburgh wins, they can still lose at the ends later. Denver and Vegas, we're ahead of one of them. They beat each other up. So yeah, we're not eliminated if we win, no matter what.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep tabs on that as we go forward. So let's go into our final segment for the night, and then I have a announcement for our viewers at the end of our episode tonight. So, predictions. This last week, Joseph and I were both 10-6. We split 4 games: the Raiders, Browns, Patriots, Colts, Texans, Jaguars, Vikings, Bears. I picked Colts and Texans. Joseph picked Browns and Raiders and Vikings. So we split those 2, which means we both ended up 10-6. And I am now 138, 85, and 1, which is a 61.9%. And Joseph is 139, 84, and 1, which is a 62.3%. And did the math pretty much. In order for our percentages to improve at all, we have to be better than 10-6. Because 10-6 is itself 62.5%.
Okay.
So in order to improve your percentage, it has to be beyond that. You have to get more than do better than 10-6. So we only have 3 weeks left to make that happen.
Is it mathematically impossible to get to 2/3 or 65%?
I don't think it's mathematically impossible if we like crush it. But that would be like, 3 straight weeks of 14-2 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if that's maybe not that extreme. Might be like maybe you could do it with 13-3 and then 12-4 or something, but it would have to be pretty extreme wins.
I don't think in the 4 seasons of doing this, either of us have 5, 14.
Oh no. I think I've only ever had like 2 or 3 14-2 weeks total.
Yeah, no.
In the several years we've been doing this. So, okay. So let's start off with our week 16 predictions. Game number 1 Thursday night is 49ers at Titans. I'm going Niners.
Titans. Browns, Packers.
No comment. You're just gonna slip that under the rug, huh? All right. Browns, Packers. You said Packers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Packers also. Colts at Cardinals. I'm pretty sure based on what you alluded to earlier, we're gonna differ on this one. I'm going Colts.
I'm going Cardinals. But that's a close. I mean, Lions, Falcons, blah, Falcons.
Same. Ravens, Bengals, Bengals.
Bengals. Let's skip this next one. Um,
Oh, okay. We're skipping.
haven't picked,
All right.
haven't picked it yet and stuff. So, who's up though? I'm up.
Europe.
Bills, Patriots. Going Patriots.
Same. Think Patriots will bounce back in this one. Jaguars, Jets. Come on. Jets. I'm just going Jets because they're the home team, honestly.
So am I. This game shouldn't be allowed to be played.
Yeah, no. I agree.
Giants, Eagles, Eagles.
Same. Bucks, Panthers. This one you heard about all the injuries for the Bucks, right?
No.
Godwin tore his ACL.
Oh,
Mike Evans is out. So they're missing their two best receivers. And of course they just got shut out by the Saints. I did pick Bucks, but this is one of those ones I actually had to think about this for a little while. The only reason I'm not picking Panthers is because of their putrid quarterback situation. So are you going Bucks?
I'm going Bucks just because
they
have Tom Brady.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Chargers, Texans, Chargers.
Same. Bears, Seahawks, Seahawks.
Same. Steelers, Chiefs. Sorry, the Chicks.
The Chicks. Steelers at Chicks. I'm going Chicks also. Broncos at Raiders. I'm going Raiders.
I went Broncos, but I think that's because I want them to win to help with the Dolphins tiebreak.
Joseph, this isn't 2015 anymore. Peyton Manning isn't on the Broncos.
Well, 2015 it was a terrible year for him. So let's back up one more previous year before that. That was the year he had 9 touchdowns and 17 picks.
Wait, 2015?
Yeah, that was the year that he was terrible. His injury was there, and he was terrible. And they put in Osweiler, and he came in towards the end of the season. Remember, we were at the burger place that we liked a lot, Laguna Grill. I think we were discussing about when to bring Manning back because Osweiler was playing. They were trying to get they were competing with Brady and the Patriots for the 1 seed, and I think maybe the Chiefs to figure that out, that madness. And they ended up bringing Manning back. Then they got through the playoffs somehow, and they won the Super Bowl, but he didn't really do much. So.
I did not remember the whole injury thing, but I did remember that Brock Osweiler was a Dolphin for a while.
He was a Bronco and a Texan and a Dolphin in like a 2-year span or something.
Yeah, none of them worked out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we differed on that one. I'm going Raiders. You're going Broncos.
Washington, Dallas, going Dallas.
Same. And then lastly, Dolphins at Saints. I'm going Saints. I know your pick before you even say it. You're going Saints.
Well, we differed on both of our teams.
Okay, so we have 4 differences, but then you need to decide on Rams at Vikings.
Okay. Tell you what. I really want the Vikings to make the playoffs. I feel for them. Cousins, defense, Cook. They had a brutal schedule to start the season. I think they're better than a 7-17. And they just need a little bit more hope, that team, and their core. I don't want them to disband next year, and I think there would be some issues if they don't make the playoffs. So I was going to say that. I was going to say, I'll pick the Rams because I didn't pick the Niners. But I think the Niners will still make the playoffs regardless. So I'm not going to give you that gift. picking the Rams because it doesn't matter for the Niners and they're going to probably go anyways, even if the Niners win. So what I'm hoping is that the Vikings and the Niners both make the playoffs. Possible if football team does. So I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, with Washington's loss to the Eagles tonight, their chances are pretty low at this point. Okay, so you went Vikings, correct?
Yeah.
I went Rams. So we're different on 5 of these.
Which is, I think, I don't think we've ever differed on 6.
I don't think we have. So tied for the most. Game of the week, we decided before the show would be Broncos at Raiders. Because we haven't done Broncos yet this year, and I think at most we've only done Raiders once.
Wait, Broncos at where?
Broncos at, isn't it Broncos at Raiders?
No, at where?
Raiders. So we've only done the Raiders maybe one other time. So this is a good opportunity for us to get to see a couple teams we haven't watched, plus watch a game that has playoff implications. Potential playoff implications. It's very possible neither of these teams will make it. I think at the end of the day, neither of them will, but we'll see. Okay, so announcement for this week is that first of all, there will be no show next week because none other than my backup long snapper co-host Joseph is going to be coming into town. So him and another buddy of ours are going to be visiting for a couple of days around that time. So we will not be available to do a show. The other announcement I wanted to make was that we're not going to do a show next week, but some of you are probably rearing for us to do a awards show where we talk about Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Comeback Player, Rookie of the Year, all that. We will be doing that. We haven't decided which week that's going to be yet, but we will be doing that. And then we also haven't been doing many article episodes this season, and we did finally found a hot seat article. We did a couple of hot seat episodes last week where they talk about which coaches are on the hot seat. So we will be doing a hot seat episode soon as well. That might be the week after next week, since we don't have a show. So our next show in 2 weeks, we might do the hot seat then. But just wanted to let you guys know that we do have plans for some fun special segments for the rest of the season. But there will be no show next week, so we'll pick up on that fun stuff in a couple of weeks. So, Joseph, unless you have any last words to say, I'm going to put a bow on this episode.
Go Dolphins, go Niners.
Thank you. Even though you think the Titans are going to win for some reason. Okay. So that's a wrap. If you guys did not fall asleep during tonight's episode or any of our past episodes, please like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube, as those are free ways for you to support our show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at The Practice Squad and at Neuralizer_. Just as a reminder, if you've missed past episodes, you can watch or listen to them right here on my YouTube channel. Tonight's show will be available immediately after we go offline. As always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.